Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City, birthplace of the Saturn V moon rocket that sent men to the moon. It started out as a sleepy agricultural town in the Tennessee Valley, but when the city was selected to be the home of the U.S. Army's Redstone Arsenal and then the home of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, it wasn't long before the watercress capital of the world became a world leader in science, engineering, and technology. From 1950 to the end of 1969, Huntsville's population had grown more than 700% to 140,000 people. Driven by the demand for highly skilled workers on federal aerospace and defense projects, a relatively high percentage of this population had advanced degrees in their fields. Once the Saturn V project wound down, NASA began to design the future of human spaceflight. During the time between the large federally funded programs of the Saturn, Apollo, and the Space Shuttle, many of Huntsville's highly capable and intelligent men and women decided to take the knowledge they gained from the Saturn program and create spin-off companies that would continue the trend of innovation and invention. Huntsville's robust K-12 and post-secondary education system, family-friendly culture, and quality of life, combined with the skilled labor available for startup companies, were major factors in retaining and attracting innovators who'd create the second wave of Huntsville's growth. Companies that started as spin-offs from NASA and U.S. Army projects could also rely on a steady business of federal contracts and consulting to keep them afloat as they develop new products and technologies. Integraph, originally M&S Computing, was one of these Saturn V spin-offs. It was founded by Jim Medlock and Terry Shansman, engineers who worked on the Saturn V's instrument unit ring. Bruce Imsand, former vice president for engineering at Integraph, explains what kept Medlock and his team in Huntsville.
Huntsville was an area of a lot of smart people. And I think it's that fact that they had a group of smart, diverse engineers and a well-established, family-oriented environment. They knew the contractors here. It was pretty obvious to me as to why they decided to keep their business here.
Integraph began by providing design and layout for printed circuit boards and integrated circuits for NASA. This work wasn't just confined to the office. Many of the engineers met after hours in their home garages. It was these engineers who felt there was something transformative on the horizon.
For a while, I thought this was another moonshot because everything we were doing had really never been done before. It was a frontier space. Lots of problems, lots of obstacles that got in the way of trying to do it. I think the term rock star is used today, but I think in those days, you really had a sense that you were doing something great that hadn't been done before.
The opportunity for Integraph to take the next step in computer technology came in 1973 in the form of a contract from the Nashville-Davidson County Metropolitan Government. Nashville was seeking to digitize its municipal maps into an interactive system that could be updated as the metro area grew. This project required a product that could represent very complex and interrelated databases of information as updatable interactive graphics. These challenges led Integraph to design what the team saw as the next step in computer-aided design, or CAD, across several industries. The invention that would rocket Integraph to the forefront of the CAD market was the Interactive Graphical Display System, or IGDS. The IGDS was made up of computers connected to several workstations, with each workstation having 2 cathode ray tube monitors and a large digitizer table as the operator's input device. The experiences of the Integraph team during the Saturn V project were a key factor in the success of the IGDS. The team was already trained to use components that were available and to modify them to achieve a specific goal. It was this flexibility, easy integration, and nuance that allowed the IGDS to gain a significant share of the CAD market in the 1970s and 1980s. But the hardware was not the only factor in the success of the IGDS. The corporate culture that developed at Integraph was focused on solutions and innovation.
Our leader was Jim Medlock, who, by his training, was a hardware electrical engineering type turned software fellow. He surrounded himself with young, smart people and turned them loose. It was small, tight teams of in a family-oriented environment where it was just busting it to try to get the product out as quickly as we could and to solve the problems that, quite frankly, we didn't know how we were going to solve when we started.
Available federal contracts, a region that was attractive to young, bright engineers, a culture focused on the customer, and a workforce not afraid to take risks, all kept Integraph on the cutting edge of the rapidly evolving world of computer technology. Today, Integraph is still one of the largest companies in the state of Alabama and is a clear example of why Huntsville still thrives as a place of invention.